take a little break because I am really angered about a lot of things that I see that's going on. And it makes me very angry. Now, I was taught that I should not use the word angry when referring to myself. My number one teacher said use righteous indignation. Okay, then if that's a better way to describe it, then I will use those words. I have righteous indignation all up and through here. And we're going to have to make some drastic changes in our behavior and our communities in order to fix this. Now, I talked about identity theft. Let's get into the bank refinancing because that's one of the other major conversations that's being held all the way to the United States Senate level. It's in Congress because there's an issue here that needs to be addressed associated with business predators. Now, they're not calling it that per se, but they are saying that something has occurred here that's going to cost a lot of people their homes, okay? And I'm not going to get into how that occurred as yet, but one of the problems that we are having is associated with banks. But even more importantly, it is the lending agents, the individuals that are in between you and the bank. And in many incidences, the banks are not aware of what these individuals are doing. Who are predators? In the business world, they will covet, bear false witness, and steal your money. Bearing false witness, I will give you an example. According to statistics, over the past years, a good 5 years, maybe even more, but I haven't gone back that far. It appears that lending agents have been doing some things that were in violation of not only man-made laws, but as well God's laws. And what has occurred is that many of the lenders are double charging you, getting you to sign for loans, and you could have gotten a better loan, but they would get a better profit in whatever they're making if you would take this particular loan, which in turns is the worst loan for you to get. They're going to have to deal with this in divine judgment, for certain. But there are some things that we all can do to prevent the predators from taking land from you just because they want to get whatever the commission is that they're getting. Don't associate with anyone, lenders, agents, that you do not know already or trust. And then you're going to have to watch those, because I have experience with individuals that I've known for over 35, 40 years. And because they were in the industry, I counted on them to have my back. But they didn't have my back. They had their back. They made their commission, and that's all that they were concerned about. And we're going to find a lot of that right now. We're having some issues with it associated with refinancing. Now, what I don't like the most about the whole trend is that many of these predators prey on seniors, and the seniors' property, and this is the prime property that they want, are the ones that are free and clear. Now, because a lot of us don't like to do math, when you buy property, you don't own it right off. The bank does. And if you keep on making the payments and payments and payments, whatever it is, 30 years, then the property is paid off. We've had a large number of our seniors that took that route and spent the entire 30 years paying off this property to turn around, and the offspring of this individuals, or whoever the family members are that are to inherit this, are a bunch of idiots. Now, that's when it occurs if the person dies. What I'm seeing occurring is that many of the seniors are going for loans that will cause them to end up homeless at the age of 70 and 80 years old. I don't like them. Those are some serious predators. Now, I do like the loans that allow seniors and elderly people who have spent all of that money. The property is pretty much paid for. They have a lot of equity in it. And that money should be used for them to spend the rest of their lives happy and not dealing with things. I'm saying this now is because the way things are structured in relationship to African Americans, we're not even holding on to the land that our ancestors spent 30 years of their hard-earned money on. And they died hoping you would know better what to do with it. So I am not going to be one of them that's going to disagree with an elderly person or a senior person that has property that's almost paid for. I'm not going to disagree with them taking trips around the world and being happy and free and go lucky with it. Simply because in my life I've seen some of the most ridiculous things that I could have thought could come up. But these hard-working people in Oakland, and for their descendants, like daughter, son, etc., etc., have no clue on what to do about it. It has been going on for years. We're losing the land that we do have for nothing. I'll give an example. I have a girl that I've been known for, how long have I known her? I was in my early 20s, for 40 years going on. Okay? It's 3 of them. 2 sisters, 1 brother. 3 siblings. when their mother died, it was assessed that her property was not less than $3 million. And I'm talking about black folks, okay? It is taking this family years and years have gone by to resolve this matter. Because there are certain siblings that say, well, I should get this and I should get that, and then they're going off into this tangent. Everybody, all three of them got different lawyers. Who's going to get more money than any of them before this is over with? Each of them have 3 different lawyers who's going to get whatever the third. Now let's look at this. Let's just do basic math. 3 children, property value not less than $3 million. Let's just say it's $3 million. 3 children divided into $3 million. That means each of the children will have $1 million worth of assets, cash or whatever, however they're going to do it. But when you bring in lawyers, and they were talked about in the Bible too, I'll get into that later, you have to pay them. And they got this 33 1/3% going on, and you'll find some that are less, 25%, because there's a competition thing going on. But think about it. If all you had to do was to agree to divide everything into 3s, the expenses, and deal with it fairly, if there was one sibling that paid taxes this year, the other paid taxes that year or whatever, add up all these here monies, okay, and do the right thing. It is not necessary for you guys to bring in anybody, and we have a tendency to do it more than anybody else, especially when we hear $1 million. We just get crazy. Now you're going to end up having to sell all this land your mama had, unless there is 1 or 2 of you that are in the financial situation to buy out the others and come up with the monies however else. If none of you are in the position to buy out anybody as well as even maintain your own, then you will also have to sell. Now you've gotten rid of property that is no longer among the African American community, and we're losing property like this not only in the cities. Either we're going to have to look at what the laws are saying that we could do and work with them, or just shut up and just leave it alone. Don't even come up with no more marches, no more nothings, because we're going to have to deal with this in all levels, just as it was dealt with in the 60s. It didn't matter what issue we had going on in the 60s, there was at least a pressure group.